One of the things that really kind of hit me hard as I got to know more about the organization is just how significant pediatric cancer is in Nebraska. Nationally, we're third in pediatric cancer for individuals under 15 years of age. And so obviously cancer is terrible when it happens to anyone, but when it happens to a child, it can be devastating when they receive that diagnosis. And so, many times there's just not a lot that you can do to help, and so your heart just really goes out to the child and to that family.
It's unfortunate that a mere 1% of all cancer research funding is spent on developing drugs for kids. Drug companies find it more profitable to spend their dollars on adult drugs, which means we're giving adult drugs to our young children only in smaller doses. However, the problem is the long-term impact on those kids by those drugs means that they oftentimes lose brain function, they have difficulties with their movements, and oftentimes it brings on other diseases as their life progresses.
Northwestern Mutual has a commitment to the communities in which we serve. And one of our key missions was to support organizations right here in Nebraska, not just nationally with Alex's Lemonade Stand. So we've identified some very key partners. Camp Kaholo right here in Omaha is a great organization that focuses on getting families together that are going through cancer and putting together a camp that allows them to not think about the challenges and the difficulties that they're going through. Pediatric Cancer Action Network, based in Lincoln, is an organization that provides support services helping families with bills such as a mortgage payment, utilities, you name it. Sammy Superheroes is a great local organization based up in Columbus, and they have two different missions, one to help fund pediatric cancer research and another one to support a Binky program, which they go into multiple hospitals and basically help families out and know that they're there and they're thinking about them. And then the cornerstone partnership that Northwestern Mutual has is the Children's Hospital and Medical Center right here in Omaha. And we've been very blessed to have a special relationship with the pediatric oncology department. And one thing that Nebraskans don't realize is the Children's Hospital and Medical Center is one of 33 freestanding children's hospitals nationally, and Northwestern Mutual's efforts are committed to helping to grow that oncology department right here in Nebraska.
Our staff has a great bond with these kids. They get to enjoy each other's time and company. They also, if the kids would like to talk about their illness, the counselors are there to give some advice. Some of these counselors are past campers, and so they know what the kids are going through. I actually was a past camper. I have given back to be a counselor, and now I'm the director of this camp. I love it, so I just have to come here every year and enjoy the camp.
Sammy is my son. He was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma, a type of childhood cancer, almost 4 years ago in July 30th, 2012.
Lena was 18 months old when she was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma. And at the time, she was our youngest of 5 children. I was a full-time registered nurse, and my husband was working full-time as well. And it absolutely turned our world inside out and upside down.
We raise funds in several ways. The majority of our funds come through individual donations. So our individual donors are the most important to our cause. Corporate donations, of course, are important. And then we also, just through merchandise sales, t-shirts, and on fundraisers. I could say a million times how cancer research for kids is underfunded and under-researched. There's a huge gap. What Northwestern Mutual does is everything to us. They're a corporate partner who's getting involved and saying this is not okay for kids. And they want to step up, help us, pull groups together that are raising money for research. Basically, we all support each other. We're all doing the same things. We're all doing good things, just funding different research grants, different programs. And I think for them to get involved and pull groups like us together is, it's everything for us. It means that all the work that we're all doing, it matters, it makes a difference, that we can all do things together to support all these kids.
So Northwestern Mutual is doing what all of the nonprofits that focus on pediatric cancer in Nebraska need. They're bringing us all together to work together as a larger team. Northwestern Mutual has the resources and the numbers and the time and the passion for pediatric cancer and all of the causes that surround that. They are doing phenomenal things with Alex's Lemonade Stand in terms of research, and their partnership with Sammy Superheroes is just going to make that bigger and better for Nebraska. They're also interested in the personal aspect of pediatric cancer and how it directly affects families right here in our own communities in Nebraska. And that's where our partnership with Northwestern Mutual and with Camp Caholo kind of brings us all in a full circle and make sure that we're providing services and support in every aspect to these families that are facing the childhood cancer battle.
She was 7 months old when she was diagnosed with a pielomyxoid astrocytoma, which is a brain tumor. We had noticed as she was getting older, 4, 5, 6 months old, she was having a hard time. She'd reach across midline to grab toys that were right by her left hand, and she wasn't gaining much weight. And she was having a hard time meeting milestones like sitting up and pushing herself up. And so our pediatrician ordered a MRI, and they thought they were maybe going to find just like some cerebral palsy, but instead found a really large brain tumor.
It's a moment that I'll never ever be able to forget. I remember the room we were in. I remember the doctor that came in and talked to us. I remember getting the phone call from our pediatrician. I remember dropping to the floor.
You know, I think when Emma was diagnosed and they started talking to us about treatments, we were both shocked to learn that the initial treatment she would get was 25 to 30 years old. And that was the best thing available at the time. You know, you see all these advances in science and technology, and you just assume that treatments have come along with it, especially for our children. And I think we were shocked as parents to learn that that is not the case. And as we got further into the treatment and learning more about the disease and the funding, there just isn't the funding there needs to be.
She's been on 5 different chemos in the 3 years that she has been battling this, and only 2 of them have been developed in the last 10 years. And think about the technology and think about the changes, how the world has changed in 20 to 30 years. To think that somebody came up with the best medicine for this treatment was done before personal computers is scary.
I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 9 years old, 3rd grade going into 4th grade. It was Ewing sarcoma. It's a bone cancer, and I had it in my spinal cord, my lumbar vertebrae. It took me 365 days, a whole year, until I was finally in remission from cancer. But just 2 weeks ago, I was declared by my doctor, Dr. Coulter, I was cured from cancer.
There is a shortage of trials nationwide. There is. And that's why, research dollars are so important, number one. But the issue number 2 is if there is a trial available, it is only available in the hubs, okay, in the specialized areas. So if you want to be on a trial for neuroblastoma, you're probably going to have to go to Chicago. So you're going to have to uproot your family and take your kid there once a month at the very least. If you are trying to do something with a brain tumor, you're going to go to California or you're going to go to Boston. And it's because that's where the research is being done. And we need to make Nebraska that place. If childhood cancer is going to be that prevalent here in Nebraska, why can't we make that our focus?
Just it's heartbreaking watching our friends lose their children. It's not even there's just no way to describe how that feels.
This helps people in your own communities, your own neighbors. If you don't know somebody affected by childhood cancer yet, you will. So together we can make a difference.
To be able to hold an event like this takes a contribution from a lot of different individuals. And I just want to thank everybody that's here today. I want to thank our board members. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our volunteers. I want to thank all of the teams that really came together to really focus on making this a special event, in addition to all of our attendees, everybody that's here tonight. We just really appreciate you being here.